a 21-year-old guy. And I was sent to boarding school when I was 9. My parents said it was to give me the best education money could buy. That's how they explained it to everyone. And that's how they explained it to me, too. The truth, which I only found out much later, was that they just didn't want to deal with raising a kid. They told some relatives in passing that it was time for a break, but no one thought it was serious enough to challenge. No one told me anything. I remember the day they dropped me off. It was early September. My dad parked the car. My mom signed a few forms, and within minutes, they were back in the car and gone. I didn't even get a tour of the place with them. I spent that first night in a room with another boy, who'd already been there a year. He didn't talk much. I cried under the blanket until I fell asleep. I kept staring at the school phone by the hallway door, hoping they'd call. They didn't, for the first year. They called maybe once every few weeks, sometimes just for a couple of minutes, and sometimes they didn't call for over a month. I used to wait near the phone room after dinner in case they tried. The staff told me not to get my hopes up too often. I stopped waiting after a while. The school itself was top tier. I'll give them that. Great facilities, well-funded programs, teachers who cared. But it didn't take long to realize that for most of the other students, this was just a temporary thing. During Christmas or Easter, their families would pick them up. Summer came, and the dorms would empty out. I stayed behind. By the time I was 11, I already knew the drill. Holidays meant a nearly empty campus. A few of us stayed, kids from overseas or kids like me who didn't have anyone coming. The dorm supervisors would sometimes organize movies or board games, but it never felt like enough. You could hear how quiet the halls got when no one was around. When I turned 13, one of my teachers slipped up. We were talking about cities, and she asked if I'd ever visited the city my parents had moved to. I had no idea what she was talking about. I thought we still lived in the same town. She froze, realizing what she'd said, and tried to brush past it. I went to the admin office to call the only number I had on file. It was disconnected. I sent 3 emails over the next week. No one responded. At 15, I gave up trying. I stopped waiting on visiting days. The school staff noticed, and a few of them stepped in quietly. One of the sports coaches helped me set up a part-time job in the library. Another teacher made me a birthday cake that year. They never said anything directly, but I think they understood. They tried in their own way. Summer breaks became a time to work and stay busy. I signed up for enrichment programs, took extra courses, and did research projects. It was easier than going home because home didn't exist anymore. When people asked where I'd be during break, I just said I was staying for an academic project. By senior year, I had become one of the top students in my class. I got selected as captain of the track team. My college applications were strong. The staff helped me fine-tune them. When the invitations for graduation were printed, I sent one to the address. I had no reply. Graduation day came. Everyone was hugging their families, taking photos, loading cars. I stood at the gate with my suitcase, waiting. I stayed out there for nearly 4 hours. People stopped asking if someone was coming. Eventually, the headmaster walked out, gave me a look I'll never forget, and offered to drive me to the train station. We didn't say much during the ride. He handed me a water bottle and paid for the ticket himself. What my parents didn't know, what no one knew, was that I had already planned my escape. During senior year, I'd taken 3 part-time jobs and saved every penny. I found a cheap apartment near my college campus and signed the lease on my own. I never told the school staff.